Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So looking at the strategy, the strat in the beginning, I think is important, based off what I've learned, is to stick to a simple strategy, whether it be the 2 up or the 2 down.
Mm-hmm.
And then on that, if you're like, hey Marlon, good morning. If you are day trading like we are, and even though it's scalping, right? You guys call it scalping, like you're scalping for a time frame, and then you basically, like, take your profits and go, which is what I have been doing. Mm-hmm. And what we've been doing, I guess not. But the reason why I do it on the 5, I take it on the 5 or 15, is because there's a broadening formation happening, or there's and there's like he calls it like an actionable signal. So on my screen, you'll see here, I have this circle. So the broad information is really like, you take it from the current high to the previous high. So this current high right here, mm-hmm. I will make a hold on, let me show. So I will make a line from here to here, because this is the current one right here to the previous high. So we understand that, right? And then we want to take it from the current low to the previous low. So you see like a channel. There we go. Right, so price doesn't go necessarily up and down. It goes like this. Like, I think he like made a comment like it's like a heartbeat. It like goes, it aggregates. That's what he calls it, aggregation.
Right.
So if I wanted to get on in my like entry, I have to find like an actionable signal. So for example, like this 3 right here, right? This 3 right here engulfs the previous one. So to me, this right here is called, if it's up, it's, well, not, well, all right, so this 3 right here, engulfs is this one. So my entry, if there's a 1 next to it, it's an actionable signal for me to get in. So now I have to kind of like see where anything before this is an entry point, because you know that it's going to hit here because we see it. So anything before here, getting into here, which is at what, 445? I don't know who that is. 445. So if I'm going to do the reversal, like if I'm going to get into here and then it reverse, I know that the all-time high is going to reverse all the way back down, because you can see what happens right here.
Right.
Was this the broadening formation?
Yes. Hey, Fiona, how are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, so I was just going over that. We can start over so we can, so you can see it. And I'll start it from the beginning. Marlon also, I think, missed just a couple of seconds. So I'll start it from the beginning and why I take it on the 15-minute.
So you take your broadening formation on the 15-minute?
Or the 5-minute.
Okay.
Yeah, or the 5-minute or the 15-minute.
Do you draw your broadening formations every day, or you use the same one for the entire?
No, I use like the resistance, and because it also, tells me where that's basically what I've been using, what I've been sharing with you guys. But I think this is, a good idea to start, like, I guess, using again, just so it can be much more clearer on why, and why get in and why get out. And the run information, basically what it does, it I don't say engulfs, but it takes the current price, the current high price of the day, and takes the current low price of the day. I was saying that price action doesn't go up and down. It, like, he used to call it like aggregation, like a heartbeat. Like it goes like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so at some point, if you can see it on here, you can see it kind of very clearly on the 15-minute on the spot, because it basically did exactly that. Hold on. So this is the highest part of the day, which was like 4:45, right? Or something like that. And I'm gonna try to bring it down. So you would want to take an entry anywhere like here, and you know that it's going to reverse because it's the highest price of the day. So the entry would be like any of these down here, but the actionable signal, like you would say, is like, for me to get into it, I need to see that there's a 1, because a 1 here, or it'll show like what is it called, like a shooter? Yeah, that's the shooter, right? So I would probably take an entry here, which is what you do when giving us like the price, how much the price is. So I wouldn't want to get into here, obviously, because I'm paying so much more. That risk to reward is like much more. So I would do like a put here for whatever the price is, like, even though, hold on. Even though I know it was going to hit this all-time high, because it's going to reverse, which is basically what happened. The issue is that we don't know how much is it going to reverse by. So the idea is to take the profit as much, as fast as, as much as you can see it happening right away, or like 20%, whatever that is, and then move on, if that makes sense. So let me draw that broad information for you. So this is my all-time high for the day.
Fiona, did your sons ask you what Atari is?
They know.
Oh, they know?
Mhm.
Like, wow, she's really showing her age with that t-shirt.
Yeah, they know. This was actually a gift from my older son.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Oh. All right, so the broad information is here. This is the current high, and then the previous high.
So the broadening formation is drawn from to hit all the highs for the day?
No, so the current high to the previous high, because you can see that there's one right here, there's like a high right here, there's a high right here, there's a high right here. You want to hit it from the current high to the previous high.
What's considered the previous? From the day
The
before?
highest of high. Like here you can.
No. I mean, from the day before you're talking about? Is that what you?
No, within that 15 minutes. Like, let me see.
No, because Fee asked you if you change daily, and
Right.
you said
Yeah.
the same. So that's what I'm asking. You're saying from the previous high. What is the previous high? The day before?
Correct. It can be a day or two before.
Okay.
Yeah, on the 15 minutes. But if on the 5 minute, you can see it more often, for sure. So I'm just doing it on the 15 minute. this is like on the 12th, on the 14th, but let me do it on just like the day.
So, all right, so the question is, are you doing the broadening formation the night before the actual trade day using the values of, so like for instance, tomorrow is Friday and today's Thursday, but we're at the end of Thursday's trading day.
Yeah.
Are you doing the broadening formations using today's numbers on the 15-minute for tomorrow's execution?
Correct. Yeah, because we're day trading, right? So that is correct. So I would do it on each time frame continuity, for me just to see it. But that's correct, yeah. Does that make sense or?
No, not yet. I'm not able to conceptualize that. So you just drew that from the 9:30 to the
I feel like
9:45.
Yeah, let me just, let me. Okay. I'm gonna do it on a 5. Oh. So. So for example, I don't know why it looks like this. I'm still. All right. So on Friday, not sorry, on what's today? Friday. Yesterday, the day ended at 4:30, right?
4 o'clock.
Before you continue,
Yeah.
and just to touch on what me and Angie were talking about before y'all got on the call, for the most part, we had a really, really good 2 weeks up until the last couple of days where it seemed like we got a little bit, undisciplined. So for the most part, the strategy that we've chosen is actually working. We just have to, be able to take the losses the way we take the wins. We really gotta, start setting those stop losses and just chalk those losses on the day and say, okay, I'll get it back on the next trade, or I'll get it back the next day. Because I look like, and I was telling her, I look back at, how that SPY put was at 40% and that Oxy put, that Oxy call was at 100% on my end. And because a couple of y'all were looking to get into the play, I was like, oh, it has room to run more, so let me stay in it.
Right.
And it's just important to, stick to the plan on taking profit. And if you left it on the table, it wasn't for you. But like at the end of the day, discipline killed us this week. Nothing else but discipline killed us this week. It wasn't that any of the trades were necessarily bad, anything like that. It was just that we might have stayed in trades too long or got in at the wrong time, pretty much.
On that note, just to bounce off of that, something I said, which somebody called me a cult, said I'm trying to start a cult. But what I said is, before we start trading, we need to recite the formula to keep it abreast in our head, to keep it there. Not forming a cult, but I want to have the formula. But I'm serious, just to keep it out there, because patience minus greed, that's the first step in the formula. I can't remember the rest. I gotta memorize that shit myself. But patience minus greed, right? Divided by risk times, what was it?
Okay, so I think we all have the formula, so we don't have to go over it right
Yeah, but I want it in my head.
Okay,
But
so
anyway, but the point I was saying is, like, no, seriously, like, let's take this shit serious.
I am serious. I just feel like going through the formula right now, section for section of the formula is not very conducive of the limited time. Because I saw the message where Angie says she has a class at 12.
No, not right now. But I'm just saying, like, in the morning when we start, we go over, we recite the formula. Everybody don't got to do it. It's like a disclaimer. You start whatever. This is the disclaimer, right? Like a training class, like sometimes if I do an MTA, if I'm with depending with Long Island Railroad or transit, before they start the meeting, even if the meeting is indoors or whatever, they go over safety rules. All right, we gotta go through the safety rules, everybody, and they spend a good 2 minutes safety rules, and then we get into the shit.
Okay.
It's just keeping us in mind of this is the focus that we need to have. We need to stay focused on our agenda.
Okay, so we
Yes,
should
I agree.
like a 5-minute meditation, air quotes, meditation, where somebody sends out the disclaimer, which is a daily reminder to adhere to the formula. And that one person goes through the formula so it gets embedded in everybody's head, right?
Okay.
That's what you're saying.
I will recite the formula before
Great.
we start every day.
All right.
Okay, all
Are
right.
you gonna recite it out loud to?
I am. I'm going to recite it out loud so
absorb it.
everybody hears it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
Okay.
that means that the call starts at 9, and this goes for me. We all can't start straggling in at 9:05, 9:10 because we just missed the formula. And that's mandatory.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that includes myself as well. Like, you know, the idea, like not the idea, like Friday was like a perfect example. Like, why didn't I not stay in the put, right? By the end of the day, it was at almost 100%. So, getting back to the basics and the foundation helps us stay focused, and and I think that once we are very transparent and things of that nature and whatever, we'll be able to do what we need to do.
That was me, Dad.
What is that?
You got to mute one of them.
Huh?
Chris logged in twice.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can log on my phone because I got to make a run. Is it still echoing?
Yeah, you have to turn off the one on the
Mute one of them.
computer.
So when I did the strat, I stuck to like 2 up, 2 down. I still use that now because I think it's been useful, and it helps you like just hone in on one or two strategies. So when I see like an actionable signal, like right here, like this 2 right here, right? And it was a reminder for me too, like, you can't get so comfortable when you stop using this stuff. I don't use the bar formation because I can see it on here, but I want to use it so you guys can see it as well.
What is that circle
the
representing?
circle. So I put a circle on here so you can see where we can get in. So this 2, I think you call it a shooting star.
Shooting star.
Yeah, you see the 2 that's right here that is shooting up.
No, that's actually a hammer.
The shooting up is the
Mhm,
hammer.
mhm. The
Okay.
shooting star is the one that goes down.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so the hammer that's going up.
Mhm.
Your entry would be that one right here, which so it will be like what, 40. Hold on. Let me move it. So this is an actionable signal, and you want to take the entry from the previous wick, which is the one right here, right?
No, I don't get it.
Huh?
I don't get it.
So so the 2 here is basically a signal to tell you when to take action,
Okay.
when to get in, when to get in. And that two up, like call it two up. I don't want to use like the colors because to me, sometimes the colors are not always like, it can be like contradictory. Because it can be like, for example, that two could be like red up, but that's neither here nor here, neither here nor there. So the two up or two shooter is an actionable signal to get into the play. And typically, if I'm going to get into this right at this point, knowing that it will reverse, I would get into like a 440 put, right? Why? Because the all-time high hit here, which is at 44469. I don't know. I have to look at the chain to see how much they cost.
Forgive me a second, Angie, but are we still
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about broadening formations, or are we talking about something else?
Yes. So the broad information is, it starts at here because it's the current all-time high.
Okay.
Sorry, or I mean, you know what? Not the current, the previous all-time high, like the beginning of the day. Let's say I'm at 1 o'clock, which is here, which you see here. This is the second part of the broad information, which is the current high. So what you do is you engulf the current high with the previous high, and you do like a diagonal trend line. I don't see any, do you know where I can find like a diagonal trend line on here? But I'm gonna just use the trend line. So do you see that line and why I hit those 2 points? It basically engulfs the current high with the previous high and the current low, which is down here, with the previous all-time low, which is right here for the day.
All right. So now we're on. So
you're creating like a channel. Why?
no, I'm trying to write it so that it can make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not explaining it great. It just kind of makes sense to me in my head.
So my question, because you're doing the broadening formation on the 5 minute,
Yes.
is it fair to assume that you're doing this for the purpose of scalping to get
Correct.
in and
Yeah.
out within a 5 minute period? So if you're day trading, wouldn't you look at the 30 minute or the 1 hour?
I would look at all of those. This is just an entry point. So I would make sure that all of these, so I'm looking at the day, I'm looking at the 1 hour.
So you're drawing the broadening formation on the day, the 1 hour, the 15 and the 5?
Correct, but I haven't been doing that because I just use the support and the resistance. But we should be using that. We should be using this because it gives us a clear indication of entry points and how to get in and how to get out. So yes, on a day, you know, this is crazy. I have it here. Let me just check this. So before I get into the 5 or the 15, I'm definitely doing it on a day, on the hour. 30 minutes is good as well. You should do it on the 30 minutes. I have just been doing it on the day and on the hour, which is why I look at it all the time. And then, so the same goes here. You can do it. So let's see. So here's my current high for the day, which is 4611. Where's my trend line? And here's my previous all-time high. Right? That makes sense or no?
No, so you're,
I think we, hold on, I think we're getting a little sidetracked because I don't know what you and Chris were talking about before we got on. So what got
I'm
you into
completely
talking about,
lost.
yeah,
Huh?
I don't know, what got you into talking about broadening formation?
No,
Are
so
you,
I asked her about broadening formations last
no,
night.
no, no, she was, no, oh, you asked about it last night.
Last night
Yeah.
when I spoke to her, yes.
Oh,
But
okay.
the part that I'm getting confused on is, and this is not a jab at you, Angie,
No, it's okay.
the fact that you started on the 15-minute and then you jumped to the 5-minute and then now you're on the day. But
Yeah,
I personally still don't understand. On the 15-minute, it was making some sense, but now you're on the day. So you're touching the highs for the day, the previous high to the current high, right?
yeah.
But if you're looking
No,
at
the
it, from-
current high to the previous high, the current low to the previous low.
so you're going backwards.
Backwards, exactly.
Okay, but it still goes to say you're only seeing the high based on how your scale is. So if my scale is a little different from yours, you're seeing from January 7th to March 29th on your chart.
Correct.
If I were to open my day on my chart's gonna take me all the way back to 2021, like August. So how do I determine the
The
How
time,
far?
the time frame?
no,
Yeah.
how do I determine where I'm drawing the lines?
Well, we want to stay, we don't want to go more than a year out. I don't think we should. It just doesn't, like, we want to stay, especially if we're day trading, we don't want to go more than a year out, like, to do the broadened information.
Right?
Right? So we can do that now.
But
No,
that's,
we can't
okay,
do that now.
so Fiona, I think that answers your question. Because if you're day trading, you're not gonna go so far back. But if you're
No,
doing,
so that's the
but if you're
difference. When
doing-
I do my support and resistance, I'm going back 5 years.
because you're swinging.
No, those are my major support lines. That doesn't mean those are the lines I'm using for my intraday trading.
Got it. Okay, yeah. So that's why, yeah.
No, but
I
you're using
understand.
that for swings though, right?
No, I'm using that so I can have an idea of how far up this particular ticker will tick and how far low it will tick.
Yeah,
It
but for
can swing.
intraday,
Yeah, it can swing in any direction at whatever time it feels like it based on the algo or sentiment, but at least I have those lines drawn. For my intraday trading, I don't use the daily and I don't use the weekly. I use either the 4-hour or the 1 hour, the 30-minute and the 15-minute, because those are the hours that I'm actually trading within.
Mhm.
so if I'm doing intraday trading, I'm not going back 5 years. I'm probably going back just a couple of months, months to a year. Because I want to stay close to the price action right now.
So then for intraday trading, why do the broadening formation on the daily?
I think because it helps understand, I guess, the my support and resistance.
Yeah, for support and
Also, yeah.
resistance, yeah, but for the broadening formation, that's the part that's not.
Well, the broad information is just to get an idea of what happens on the day. Just to have an idea of what happens. It's just another way to like back up why you're entering on the 5 minute. And you want to make sure your time frame continuities are basically aligned as well on those 3 days, because the likelihood of it happening is like, it's not, it's not a guessing game. It's, just like it's just another indicator to let you know that, hey, I'm taking this put because on the day, this broadened information is showing this, and this. On the hour, is showing this. On the 30-minute, is showing this. This is what I'm entering on the 5. or the 15. Information overload.
Oh, you saw me scratching my head? Yeah.
Yeah. I promise you, it is like the more you see it, it's like it doesn't. I don't even use it anymore because I use mainly the support and resistance because it's basically what it is. But I want to get back to the basics so we can understand the strat much better and when to get in and when to get out. What's the actionable signal? When, like if I see this hammer, I can get in at this price point because I know it's going to reverse to the upside or downside.
And those have been working for you.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you said you like the 2 up, 2 down reversal.
Correct. Yeah. Because
And
I think it just helps.
okay, the question is why, and then the second question is how long do you stay in it?
That part.
About an hour?
You don't. You can't you can't quantify it that way. If that was the case, we would all be millionaires.
We are millionaires though.
We are millionaires. But what you can guarantee is that you'll get your profit of what that is. And then, there's a thing called like a flip on a 30-minute or flip on the hour, where you can see the changing of the actual, the two candles changing to the upside or changing down to the downside. So I think when you see it in real time, it helps you like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Like, okay, why is this flipping down in this, all right, why am I getting in here? And then, I'm getting in here, or, why am I getting in here to write it up or, or write it down? Because I think for me personally, I think that the strat is pretty simple in that sense that it gives you confidence on getting in and getting out. I'm gonna just do the broad information on here. So this is my current low. Let's find out where's my next current low. Actually, no. This is not the current low. I'm just trying to move this out the way. Okay. So this is the current low, right? If I'm looking at it.
You're on the daily.
Yeah, I'm on the daily.
Okay.
So this is the current low to the previous low, which is down here. I'm gonna just write this.
So see, now the chart makes more sense because it's now condensed and this is what my daily chart looks like.
Ah, okay.
So that's why I was getting confused, like how far is far back enough?
I'm trying to do this trend line. Do you know if there's a diagonal trend line on TradingView?
No, I think that this is it.
All right. So now you can see the channel, right? Like we're still the channel. We're not at the end of the channel.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
And with that said, what is this? 430, 420.
So the broadening formation, it doesn't change until there's a higher high, right? When there's a higher high, that's when it shifts.
I don't understand your question. Say that one more time.
Difference because the trajectory is downward.
Yeah.
So, but when there's a high, what is that? That's at 462.14 or whatever. When it, let's say it goes to 490, that's a higher high. Then the broadening formation is gonna move upwards, correct? It's gonna change. It's gonna shift.
Yeah, because then, well, that's the sentiment. I mean, SPY in general to me is a bullish ETF. If you look at the the chart. So it has moments where it obviously retraces to the downside, but overall, it is a bullish. Throughout the years, it just continues to go up. Does that answer your question or no?
No.
No, okay, all right.
You understand what I'm saying? Or what
No,
I'm
I
trying
wasn't listening. I was writing. Sorry. What did you say?
I was saying, okay, say for instance, like when you're drawing this broadening formation, like it doesn't last forever, but the broadening formation, I was just saying like the high over here is, what is it, 470, 478, whatever. I think that was the highest in the market so far. But
Mhm.
let's say
478.
let's say a new, when it gets a new higher high, the broadening formation shifts, right? Like it's no longer downward trending, it'll go upwards, right?
So not
Oh,
necessarily. So the way that Angie is showing it, it'll always be in this direction. If she's going,
yeah,
or
exactly. You see
if
what I'm
she's
saying?
going from current to previous. So if it never wipes out that higher, the all-time high at the 478, it'll always be in a downward trend for the
Yeah,
broadening formation.
but that's
But
Yeah,
when
so
it
it will
wipes
always come
out,
back down, yeah.
when
No,
it
sorry.
wipes it out, and it goes to say 490, it will be 490, and then you have to draw the line back to the 478, because then that would be the previous all-time high. So your question is my confusion, because it's not adding up when I try to justify it.
So here's I mean, I'm going back to 1994. If you look at it, the sentiment is that
Yeah, the
supply
overall
is
market,
bullish.
the overall market is bullish. We just have a pullback right now with a correction. But I think the part that I'm feeling kind of the duntish
Yeah.
is, where do you actually draw the broadening formation for day trading? Is it using the daily? Is it using the 4 hour? Is it using the 1 hour, the 30-minute, the 15-minute? Like what is the time frame for day trading?
So the daily, the 1 hour, you can use the 30-minute as well. That's another way to.
So when you say daily, the 1 hour, are you saying you can choose daily, 1 hour, 30, 15, or you're saying draw it on all of these time frames?
No, you're drawing it on all of the time frames.
The
So
broadening
the daily, the hour, and then you take, you can
so
also do the 30 minutes. I don't do the 30 minutes, but
Angie,
you can.
question. All right, so how about this? Let's go through a setup of how you would set up. Say we were gonna trade today and you were setting up last night. Did you set up? You didn't set up last night.
No, I haven't.
Okay, let's say you were setting up last night for today. Let's go through a setup of how you would do it.
But she doesn't use the broadening formation anymore.
No, I just want to see how she set up. This
With the broadening formation, or just how she's currently setting up?
in general.
Okay.
So I think we should use the broadened information though.
You draw it out or you just eyeball it? Because I mean,
I just use resistance and support, right?
And you were saying you go back to the day before. That's kind of like what Ray does. He uses the day before.
Yeah, because if you can't, like on the day, it's hard to do it on the day because the candles are still going, right? But you can do it on you're taking an entry on the 15 or the 5 minute, or the 5 minute. But in order for me to I think this is like almost like perfect setup, because so here's an actual signal right before pre-market. What do you call it? A shooter? You said shooter or hammer? A shooter.
That's the shooter.
This one right here, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So this is, to me,
Oh, actually, no, that's the
yeah.
hammer. That's the hammer. It's going down. So it's the hammer because it's changing the direction. So it's going to go up.
So this right here, even though it's small, this is a small shooter right here because it's going up. I think I have, yeah. It's going up. But you're saying it's a hammer.
Theoretically, that's called a hammer.
So I think that's another thing that we probably need to get on the same page.
So a hammer is the shooter. The star, the shooting star, because it's called a shooting star, is not a shooter.
I remember
Shooting
us
stars
saying-
go down.
All right, so, but regardless of name, how do you interpret that, Angie? Maybe you guys interpret it the same, but just call it
It
something.
is. It's a shooter, but the shooter
Okay,
is
so
a hammer.
This is like a fake one, a small one, right? Like a fake one.
Okay,
This
so-
one you can see, this one is like really clear on 1045. You can call it a shooter hammer, whichever one, you know, makes
Right.
sense. It goes up, right? So I would enter right here on the previous day, and it also has a 212 setup, right?
But okay,
So
when you say enter, it has a 2 down, 1, 2 up setup. What are you entering? Are you entering for a put or are you entering for a call? What indicates where you're going?
So because this happened today, right? Like the all-time high, and you can see the downward trend, I'm going for a put.
Okay.
You kind of see the trend that whole day. So the entry would be anything before this. So the entry would be here, 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 you know, here. Does that make sense? But this right here is telling, this is my, like the 2 up is basically my signal that this is going downhill. All the way
Why?
down.
Why?
Because it's a 2 up on the strat.
And that indicates a bearish market.
It indicates that it's going to go down. But you also need to make sure that not just, you know, your time frame is, let's see, you know, like
Why?
your time frame continuities. These are all going
Is that
down.
what it says on the cheat sheet?
No,
Yeah.
the cheat sheet says the opposite. The cheat sheet says a 2-1-2 up is a bullish continuation.
So 212 bullish right here, right?
Like a 2-1-2 up is a bullish
is right here.
continuation.
Yeah. So you see that one right here, 212. You see it's bullish. But
Mhm.
what did we see right after it? It's a 2 down, right? So I think, so this is where, to me, the broad information comes in, because you kind of see, hold on. So hold on. So here, I would go into this because to me, this 2 up, once it goes up, it has to come back down.
Say that again?
So once it goes up, typically it has to go back down. It'll aggregate, which is what he says, like the price action will aggregate, which is what we see that consolidation throughout the day. But the direction that it goes, it will show you that it will go down once it hits the all-time high for the day. If that makes sense.
But if we're not doing this in real time, it's easy to make that determination. But when you're actually in the trade, it's not gonna look like this. You're not gonna have all these things telling you if you had gotten in here, it would have gone down. So
No, but because price, because of the resistance, because of everything that we already like pinpointed and on this chart, the time frame continuity, it's all going down. Like all of these things need to align for me to be like, okay, on top of that, the two up, that two up, that like right here, this entry, this is a clear indication that is going to go down, even though it's probably going to go up just a little bit or whatever the case may be on the SPY. That sentiment is that it will continue to go down.
right, but all right, so
Of course,
where
we
is
can't we can't determine, you know, what.
right, but no, where is the sentiment that's indicating that it is gonna go down? That the entire
Well,
market,
that's why, like on the daily, I need to see that this is happening as well. On the
right,
hourly,
so I think, this is my personal opinion, I
yes,
think the piece that we're all missing is, I was looking for what Mullen just asked for. He just said, walk us through how you do your setups. So it's the end of the trading day and you're doing all your lines. I think that's what he's looking for. And that's what I thought you were doing, but then you did something else. So you kind of zigged when I thought you were gonna zag.
I don't understand the question though.
He's looking for you to walk us through how you do your lines.
Correct, okay.
Oh, because you know what? I think we started asking questions.
All right, so this is what I do. I'm gonna do the daily. I hit the trend line. No, not the trend line, the horizontal.
Here's the horizontal line.
Okay, so right here, I'll hit, it hit
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4.403 is my resistance. I'll hit another, that's another one on the daily.
And that's your daily.
Yeah, but actually this is my daily. No, those two are my daily for resistance.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, no.
The first line is based on your resistance.
Yeah.
And
the
then the
first one
second line you just drew, that's based on your support.
No, it's the same resistance. So
Why have two lines?
because you want to hit a couple of like, what is it, pivots or resistant points, because you'll know if it hit this price point, there's a possibility that there will be another point of resistance, which often happens, right? So I would hit, I put like 2 levels of resistance, but sometimes I would even do 3. But for now, we can just stick to what I've been doing the past, week or so.
Okay.
So I would hit 2 levels of resistance on a daily basis.
I'm sorry, but because this one is different from how I was taught to do support and resistance lines.
So how do you do your support and resistance?
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to understand your ciphers.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so so once the day closes, which is, it closed on a 3, which, says a lot to me too, because
Right.
it engulfs the candle before,
Right.
and it, hold on, circle is like a, oh, there it goes. It engulfed the day before. And by very little though, you look at the candle. So what I would do is I would take this line, the first level of resistance, and put it as close to the wick as possible that it closed on.
Okay.
There. So that's my first level of resistance. My second level of resistance is the third candle because it's the next high. And that
Oh, I
next
see what
high-
you're doing. Okay.
the next high is like, it touches like 5 points.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Do you do that? Do you do something like that or similar?
Those are, yeah, those are, so like if Terry's strategy, that you're creating the seller lines, those are resistance.
Right.
So like within those two is where the sellers would come in and sell off profits or whatever. According to the chart book, that's the distribution phase or whatever, where the sellers will come in and sell off. But those are the, 2 lines of resistance within that frame. So yeah, and then you would draw your support similar to that 2 lines.
Right, yeah, like right underneath. So this level of support come right here. So you see that is 3, 1, 2, 3 points, and then over here is 2 more, 4, and then the next one after this one would be right here.
Wait, but where are you moving the current lines?
No, she's
For
just
support.
showing. She's just showing.
Support.
Oh.
Yeah, I just moved it for support just to not have so many lines on there. I just use the same 2 lines for the most part. So this is what I do at the end of the day. I haven't been using the broad information, but I think, not that I think, I will start doing that just to become more precise and being able to like show, what's happening and why, especially with the strat, because that's the point, right? Like we're learning this so we can get in and get out at a certain point, certain price points with the strat. And I do this on all of them. I put the monthly on there and the weekly as well, typically. So just to kind of give me like an idea, like how you go back 5 years, just to kind of like mentally give you an idea. But the reality is we probably don't need to go that far because we're day trading essentially. So I do that on the daily, the 4 hour, or the same with the 4 hour. Like the 4 hour, you see how that 2, I don't know what happened to that 2, but I will still use that as a level of resistance once it closes that candle, and then the next one is right here, right after that wick. And you can see how many times it hit other candles, a couple of times. So that's the same on the 4 hour. And then I'll bring this back down to bring it down to resistance. And then if I don't have a clear view of what's the next resistant level, I'll go back. And it's usually right here, yeah. So you'll see the resistance. The next level resistant after this one is back here on the 4 hour. The same for the 1 hour. At 1 hour, you see it's a 1, which is an actionable signal. And I'll do that. That's my first level resistance. And then the second one is right here. Same for support. I'll go underneath this one out here, and then the second one is right down here somewhere. Right here, this lowest low. And then I'll just come all the way back to see like when was the last time it was hit. And that was a couple of days ago. 4:36.
I pretty much draw out my line similar to that. Sort of the same way. That's that. Yeah, I learned from Terry. I learned my lines to do it the same way. It's pretty much similar.
Do you do the same, Fiona?
No.
Fiona does something different.
Okay.
I mean, it comes out to be the same thing, but no, mine's a little different.
And then when you,
So you
okay.
want to show us how you do yours?
Oh, so you're on the, go to the daily.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm starting from condense your scale for the month at the bottom. No. at
Right
the bottom.
here,
Yeah,
to the left or
to the right.
Okay.
Okay, and all right, let's say you start there.
Mm-hmm. So if I'm
My-
putting resistant, where would I go? And what would I use?
My support and resistance will be, because I'm doing support and resistance in one. So it's where there is heavy support and heavy resistance hitting at the same place. So the two lines you have there, for me, that will be one line.
So,
Take out, delete
like
one.
that?
Delete one of the lines.
Oh, okay. Delete it.
Yeah, delete that top one.
Okay.
All right. Here, well, shit, I'm pointing like you can see what I'm pointing at. So where you have that line, there's a strong support there because it hit it 3 times and tried to bounce on a daily.
Yeah.
Then it's also a strong area of resistance because in March, it tried to break it 1, 2, 3, 3 times it tried, well, 4 times it tried. On the 5th time, it was partially successful, but then it rejected. Then it tried again
Oh.
and then rejected. So that's the area of support and resistance at the same time. Then in February, mid-February, it tried again.
Got it.
It's support. It tried to bounce, but then it broke the line. And then it tried to break the line again, but then it rejected. Then it tried to break it again. It did, but it came right back down. So that's a strong area of support and resistance. So for me, that line is a major area of support and resistance.
Okay, so that I agree with you on that. But what about all the resistance up here?
Right, so that's just one line. That's just one line area of support and resistance. At the top, where it would be,
Right here?
that's another area of support and resistance. No, so I would leave the first line. So these are all lines.
Okay.
And then another line is at the top.
I would put this line a little lower.
Right.
Right here?
No, like where you see the first dip.
Right here? This one right here?
No, not that low. But
Right here.
No. Go back to what is that? The January 14th.
January 14. Okay, here?
Yeah, the first dip. So where you see 1, 2, the 2 greens and then the red, like somewhere around the
Right here.
bottom of the second red, I would put.
Bottom of the second red right here. Ah, okay.
Maybe not where the wick is, but somewhere around there, I would put my resistance.
Your point
Yeah.
right here. Got it.
You see that, Fiona?
Hold on, I'm trying to find a ticker that I haven't marked up yet. But wait, let me go back. Yes. Wait,
Right here, right? You're saying right here?
Yeah, a little lower though. Like low,
Right here.
at the bottom, right before the wick starts to come out. Yep, right around there.
yes.
Ah, okay.
So that's why yesterday when I was talking, I said to Chris, I think it was somebody, I said the SPY needs to just come and hit that for me, it was closer to 430, that 430 area and just be done with it. Oh no, when he said somebody he knows just sent out a alert for a 430 put, I said, I see that too, but I don't know if it's going to be May.
Mm.
But that for, so yeah, so my lines, I don't do two lines, one support, one resistance. I just have one line. What's the major area that it either goes up and bounces back down on, or it comes down and bounces back up on? And then I find another area, whether it's at the bottom or at the top. Yeah, my chart just looks a little different because of how the scales are on my daily.
So, but do you use this for intraday?
For
Yeah.
intraday, oh, for me or for Angie?
For you?
Yes, so I draw my daily lines and they stay there. Then I draw my 4-hour lines and they stay there. Then I draw my 30-minute lines and my 15-minute lines. And then in between the 3 minutes, that's when I do the intraday lines.
On the 3 minute.
Mhm.
Where do you take your entry?
You color code them?
Yeah, I have different colors for the different time frames.
Where do you take your entry?
So my entries are on I prefer the 3 minute.
Mm.
You see how low that is? It
Yeah.
just disappeared off the
How low can you go? All the way up.
We just found out where Ariel. Yo, I just found
Okay.
Ariel's cave. We just found out where she lived. Way under the sea. Did you see how that shit disappeared?
It disappeared because of how her screen is. Oh. I really dislike you.
So, okay, so if we wanted to do just a scalping, I guess, right?
Oh,
And we wanted to get in here, right? Right, I don't know, like, I'm sorry, this previous candle right here, 441.46. And we wanted to divide it up right here. You would take this one right here, because this is actually an actionable signal because it's, what's the opposite, a hammer? I'm gonna use a shooter and then hammer.
so that's the hammer. No, that's the shooting star, because now it's
Okay, the one that's going down, the shooting star.
So the shooting star is a bearish candle. It changes from, what do you call it? From the candles going positive, and it's going to change them to go negative. And then the hammer is for, so that's a hammer, because the previous candles were going down and it's now changing the direction to go up.
Exactly. So I would take a call here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one based off of, like, you know, whatever. I would take a call here and then write it. Write it here. What is this? 442. I will enter here and then write it to 442. If, you know, in an ideal world.
And that's if you're not using support and resistance, because what if this actual tool, that if you're in a real trade and that, that hammer pops in, but that hammer is not in an area of support nor resistance that you had drawn before, would you still take it?
I'm sure it is, because this kind of correlates with
because you're cheating now. You're cheating now because you're looking at the lines behind.
No,
So
I'm serious. Listen, let's look at it though. Let's see what you're saying. So this
no. So I'm asking, not in a real sense. Hypothetically, there was no support nor resistance there at all, none whatsoever.
No, but usually it correlates.
Okay,
like, that's what makes me.
Angie,
that's what makes me say.
Okay,
go in
the event that there was no support nor resistance there, would you still take that trade, or would you wait for it to come either down to your area of support and resistance? What if your support and resistance was at
actually right now?
I don't know.
Let me just, I need to see what you're talking about. So let's say my support is right here at 443. No, sorry, my resistance is at 443, 447. And my resistance, not the trend line, I keep using it interchangeably. Horizontal line. My resistance is 436, right? 436 and 447. And this is just the two lines. I didn't add the others. Let's go on a 3 minute. So just, I mean, the resistance and support is for the daily, obviously, but the entry is on a 3 minute. I've never gone in on a 3 minute, but I want to see what what you're talking about.
No, I'm not talking about anything. I was asking a hypothetical question. So it's not even a real situation.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand what is your
mentality.
What is your method? Is the method to stick to your support and resistance, or is it wherever you see an actionable candle?
It has to, well, it correlates though.
No.
Because
okay, for you correlates. Okay, go ahead.
For me, it does, because it can go down to 436, even though the entry is over here or the entry is right here. So I would buy, like I said, a call, because I know that I have resistance at 444.37. And then I can ride that out to 442
So
if I wanted to. So if I did like a 445 call.
I think the question that Fiona has, and I kind of have too, is if you see the support is way down at 436.75, still not where Ariel lives, but way down at 436.75, right?
Yeah.
If you have, and then you see that 3-2-2 reversal.
Correct.
What makes you want to call a call? Because in my mind, if I'm looking at this, if I don't know the strat, right, and I'm looking at this, I'm just thinking, oh shit, this is gonna tank. I'm gonna take a put. What makes you
But
take
this
a
is not a guessing game, though. This is all calculated.
No, I'm not guessing, but I'm saying, not guessing.
But
if
I'm using my resistance and support because I'm just using the 3 minute to enter. But if I know that I have resistance, especially on the day at 440.37, I know it's going to retrace to that. Why? Because price action only aggregates, or it only touches that price point again.
No, so this is what I'm thinking. If the support is at 436 and the last three candles are trending downward, I'm thinking it's headed that way to 436. So I would wait until 436 to buy a call, or I would buy a put right now. Why would you?
Yeah, you can buy the put too. Where would you buy the put?
Right where you're saying to buy a call. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's making you buy the call? And we're not doubting you, but we're challenging each other. So this
is good. I mean, if I'm scalping, right? Like if I'm just trying to get in and out for the day, I would do both.
You do both a call and a put on a scalp?
Yeah, I can probably do that 442 call or 440, I don't know, whatever it is, for that, for that time being, or maybe I won't, maybe I don't.
Right, but you're still thinking in a real case situation, whereas hypothetically.
So I would do a 440 put.
You would do a 440 put?
The best reward the risk to reward would be to do the 440 put. Why? Because there's support at 436. I would get in right here or right here, anywhere before this, I would get in, because of the direction that it's going.
Wait, anywhere before where you were getting? I'm sorry.
Anywhere before this one, this, what is it called again? The hammer, the shooter. With this one right here, that's
Oh.
1009. Hold on, let me close the door first, I guess. Don't worry, I got it. Don't worry. Oh, you wanted to put it inside?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yes, I would do a 440 put here because this is like a clear actionable signal that it's a downward trend.
How is that a down? Wait, no.
Yeah, this right here basically tells you, kind of tells you like, yeah, it will definitely be tested a couple of times,
Oh,
but this actionable like 2 down hammer is what tells us the direction.
Wait, hold on. You said that you would make the call there.
I
right.
wanted to just get in and out in that couple of minutes.
But a hammer indicates that it's going to go positive, not negative. So how is that a downward trend? It just
Okay,
broke
so
the
this-
downward
yeah, but
trend.
it goes up just a little. It doesn't go past here. Right? It's because again, price action aggregates. It doesn't like I don't know why they're trying to come back in. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Give me 1 second.
I think this is a case of,
Yeah, so
you know how sometimes you know what works for you and it works for you, but for you to simplify it for somebody else, it's almost like rocket science.
yeah,
That's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling right now, looking at your
This, yeah.
process. So I know your process work, and you've shown that your process work, but I can't use your process for it to work for me because I can't understand your process, but your
I
process
understand.
works.
No,
Right.
I understand. I'm gonna so it didn't like I didn't understand it for a while. I started understanding it once I see, let me try that. I'm gonna give me 1 second. I'm gonna try my-
So I get what she's saying. When that hammer pops up, she knows
Yes, exactly.
the direction is going to change to
It's a
being
long way.
bullish.
Yeah, so you have
It's
to,
the-
so
But the question then becomes, you're not entering on the hammer, you're entering at the
the
bottom
price
of
before it.
the body of the hammer when the
Before.
next candle opens.
No, so I'm entering like the price target, hold on, where is it? So when I see this,
Uh,
right, now the next question is that at what price point do I want to get in, right? Like it would be anywhere, if I'm doing a put, it would be anywhere
but you're not
before-
doing a put, you said you're doing a call.
No, I'm talking about a put, I'm not talking about a call anymore.
Okay,
We decided that the call is, the reason I would do a call is just because I can get in and out of it.
Yeah,
But
okay,
if I
so
want to stay in it for the day,
run through that.
so
run-
that's the part that we understand because we see that as a call coming, but you confused us when
exactly.
you went from call to put.
No, I think I went from call to put. I don't see a call coming at all. I still see
Okay,
that.
so a hammer
I see a
indicates
call.
that it's going to go positive, regardless of
Just
what
for
the
a little
overall
bit.
direction is. Once you see a hammer, that means the downward trend was just broken. You can take a scalp. It
Yes,
is going to
exactly.
retreat back down, hopefully, or it may just continue to run. We don't know because we can't see the future, which is why I said to her before she was cheating, because she can see the candles that are already formed because we're doing this after the fact. But in a real trade, when you see those, it opened at 9:30. So that's
Yeah.
where it, the
It shot up.
wherever that was. So when it opened at 9:30, it went bullish,
Correct.
but it hit its head against that resistance
Resistance.
right there.
Correct.
And then it retraced down. It started going bearish, bearish, bearish.
Yes.
Then it
So-
retraced a little bit and then it went right back down. It's now going bearish, bearish. Then
Yeah.
that hammer, that
Right here.
two down, that hammer popped up. That's an indication that this bearish direction, it's been going from 9:30 to about 10:10.
To 10 like 48, right? Because it's right
No,
here.
where the hammer came in was like 10:10.
At 10:10, exactly. And you
It
can
just
rise
changed
up.
the direction. So it's no longer going down. Now it's gonna go up. So that's why she's saying she would take a call, but
And
that's a
that's-
scalp.
A scalp. Got it.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Because like she says, it gives you the indication that like it can only go right up, right? But remember, so with that said, if I wanted to do a put, because I know once price goes up, it has to come back down, and it's only going to touch a certain point, especially on the SPY. The SPY only moves about $7 a day. It either goes up or goes down. I mean, not up or down, but it in either direction. So this for me, like, it's a clear indication that, okay, it's time to get in for a put, because I can ride it down all the way to 136. I didn't even I mean,
Okay. Why would you get in on that hammer for a put? Why wouldn't you wait until the scalp retraces to being bullish and then you
you
buy
can actually. You
and
can.
then you buy the put at the low? That's the part I don't get.
Because you can, yeah, well, the higher it goes, right? Is it the higher the price goes, the price action
The
is
cheaper the put is.
Exactly. So you can get in at any point. Why? It did exactly that. It hit this again, once again, twice. It hit 3 times, 442. But at this point, it didn't retrace again. It didn't, like, this was like the second highest price point of the day. So if I want to do a put,
I would do it right there where you just
Mhm.
had the mouse at that
Mhm.
green candle. That's where I would start my put and write it down. Because for
so
me,
then,
that's the cheapest point. I'm going to get it during that time frame.
But
Got
but that's, that's now you're cheating because you can't look forward. You would have.
No, because I already, so during the time of the trade, I already see where she has the mouse. That's an area of support. If you look back to
Yeah,
yesterday,
it's like
you
1, 2,
see
3,
it went
4.
there and it bounced up. And then it's a resistance because throughout the morning,
The
it
candle
also
from-
came there and it
It's like
rejected.
momentum. Like if you could think of like momentum, like it bounces back up. It's not going to bounce back up as hard as it did the first time.
So you're gonna wait. So you would go back to the top of the candle before the
Exactly.
the hammer.
Any entry point before this one, because this is this is my
Anywhere
action that says it's, you can ride this wave.
for the put.
Correct.
Yes, exactly. And any price point before
Right
this,
there is where you have support and resistance.
which is why we say, hey, it's going to hit again. Why? Because it hits a couple of times already. Yeah, like you said right here, 442.
So this is similar to the play with that 438 put. I had it when you guys went in at, I think it was like $1.84 or something like that.
Mhm.
On my chart, I saw that I could have gotten the contract for cheaper because it was in between. It was in between that 1009 area and where it started to go down. And I said, I know it's going to keep going a little further up. And as soon as it hit my support and resistance I had drawn for my intraday, that's when I got in at $1.70.
Okay. I forgot to say, the broader formation, you see it typically most on the smaller time frames, which is why people go into, I just remember that. This is like a broader information. The way of, once you put the points, so like from this high, from this current high to this current high, you can see the formation. And this, you know, I don't know, this current low or the current low to, I don't know, over here, it engulfs these because it's going to hit, but you can see the broad information it's much more visible on the smaller time frames.
Correct, which was when you started doing the day and the hour, you tripped me up, because when I was learning the broadening formation, ain't nobody trading today, shut up. On my broadening formation, when I was watching the video with that, I can't remember the damn lady's name, but she's a Black woman and she's part of,
Is it Sarah?
Sarah. No,
Oh, okay.
she's a Black lady, and she's part of Rob's team. She taught the broadening formation on the 1 hour or the 30 minute, because she trades on the 30 minute. She doesn't do scalping. She said she doesn't have the stomach for it. So she does it on the 30 minutes. So her entries are on her 30 minutes and then she rides it out and she'll whatever.
So, but she does day trading though. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Okay. I mean, listen, I think whatever, like, where we can all be, you know, feel comfortable using, what's, you know, I think the more we see this in like real time too, it would make sense. And then, you know, when we see like actionable signals like this 2 down because of the shooting star or the hammer shooting up, and it really depends upon, like, you know, not depends on, but if you can see it, if we can all see it the same, then I think, you know, it would make sense for all of us. We just have to figure out, if we're gonna take the entry on the 15, 5, or 3 minute for the day. And that's pretty much it. Does this clear up a lot or no?
No, it helps a lot. Honestly, well, it helps me understand some of your process.
Yeah, so after you took me on the magic carpet, it's now starting to make sense that you decided to land.
This is why I don't teach. It only makes sense in my head, but you know, what difference does it make if I can't share this information, right? So you guys are helping me like express myself, be able to like explain what it is.
Alejandrina is really Aladdin. That's what it is.
Right? Magic carpet, right?
Let me tell you, I hate semantics. So it's like, you know, like expressing myself in this way, it helps me get out of my comfort zone. But it makes sense, you know. To me, the strat is to me, it's very simple. Once it clicks.
We're working on it. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, we are getting there. We are definitely getting there. And again, like I'm gonna draw the broad information on this one so you can see it on the 3 minute easily. Right here. You know, the current high.
I wouldn't draw the broad information on the 3 minute because I enter on the 3 minute, but I want to see where it could potentially be for at least 30 minutes. I don't want to be in a trade for more than 30 minutes. So if you do it and that's just my May plan as of May. I don't want to be
Yeah, so that's perfect. I mean, the question is, will you see the actionable signals? And you will.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. We just have to get on the same page on what the hell they're called.
Yeah, my goal for May, starting in May, is to be in the trade between 9:30 and no later than when that lunch hour starts. And those are my
And
trade
then sell
hours.
it by the end of the day.
No, and buy and sell during that period. I don't want to be a part of all the madness that comes in the afternoon.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that as well. I mean, the goal is only to make 25%, 28% a day.
See.
I mean, 28% per trade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it, folks. Right on time. I'm right on time. I'm gonna go. I have a hot yoga class.
All right.
All right, sweet.
Well, you guys enjoy your weekend.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
Friday. We're not having a call on Sunday, right? Today made up for Sunday?
It's up to you. I mean, I'm available. I mean, I know like people is, it's Easter Sunday, so.
Oh, what do you call it? Just send out his watch list and shit. But
Who, Ray?
the things
Right.
I just saw an alert from YouTube
Oh,
at 4:14. But yeah, no, why not? We traded on Monday, so we should keep Sunday night, no? Oh, unless everybody having Easter dinner or whatever. I don't know.
I'm cool with a Sunday Zoom.
yeah, do we have to wait till late?
No, I'm not working this Sunday, so we could do early.
Oh, okay, all right. What time is good for everyone?
1, 2 o'clock,
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that works
noon
for me.
even.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Noon even works for me.
Yes, that works for me, for sure.
As long as it's not more than
12 o'clock. Get it out the way.
All right.
12?
Yeah, noon.
All right, sounds good. All right, enjoy.
All right.
All
Enjoy.
right, y'all.
All right, enjoy.
Later.
Bye. Crazy.